Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the real reason why World of Warcraft subscriptions are going down. Of course, this is technically an opinion, but I think it's a little bit more factual than just complaining about things in the game. Although that does play a part as well. So I'm going to hit on a few things and try to keep this as short as possible. The first thing I want to talk about is the idea of brand loyalty. So it's not exactly the same thing as brand loyalty, but it's the idea of you have a product, you really enjoyed the product, and so you continue to buy that product as long as it continues to give you the same thing. So World of Warcraft has made changes, don't get me wrong, but it's largely giving you the same exact thing. So it's still giving you probably the highest end rating content in gaming. It's still giving you one of the larger player bases to play with, especially among this type of game. Um, it's still giving you, um, in my opinion, lackluster PvP, which it always has given you. So I mean, while it hasn't, transcended, it's pretty much the same. If you played in vanilla, you really, certain things used to be able to one shot you. Okay, so the PvP's never been great. Um, it's still giving you the same really good lore and questing thing. Some people don't like the storyline right now, but other people really love it, like me. So you're always going to have that divide, but it's still really detailed lore. There's still a lot of like secrets in the game. There are secrets in vanilla if you knew where to find them as well. And there's so they're giving you a continuous product, but however, people aren't staying loyal to the product, and by no means do people need to stay loyal to a product. You should never, in my opinion, you shouldn't be loyal to a corporation or a product just to be loyal to it. But there is something to say about it as long as they're delivering. So, for example, I tend to buy LG appliances. Why is that? Because I've had really good luck with LG appliances. Now, if I buy something and it goes to crap really fast, then that will change my loyalty to that brand. But if if I continue to buy an LG appliance and it continues to last for a long time, perform at the level I expect it to perform at, then I'm probably just going to keep buying those when an appliance breaks or when an older appliance breaks. It's not an LG, and I'll probably continue to buy that to replace it because that's just it's working. It's a form of brand loyalty. So I don't think there's a lot of that going on right now. It's a product of my generation and younger generations. They don't have a lot of brand loyalty. Everything's kind of a la carte in our society these days, and that's just kind of how it is right now. So naturally, as 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 we've gotten older, my generation, we've kind of lost the sense of brand loyalty that was probably in the previous generation a little bit more. So, like my parents, and then the younger people don't even have it nearly as much. I'm not saying you can't have it or you don't have it, but you don't have it as much as previous generations have had it. So, people are dissecting everywhere, which leads me to the other thing, in that there's just more options. So it's harder to have brand loyalty when you have a ton more options of things to do. So there's tons of games, even on Blizzard's own launcher. Let's look at the games. We have World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, StarCraft, Warcraft 3 now, Call of Duty Black Ops, and Destiny 2. That's just on the Blizzard launcher, okay? If you get the Bethesda launcher, I play Fallout 76. So if you get that, you have another whole list of games. You can go on, obviously, the most obvious thing, you can go on Steam and have thousands of games to choose from. There's so many games, there's so many developers, so many people went to school for coding and gaming and everything. There's just tons of options. So it's harder to have brand loyalty. So again, I'm not trying to judge anybody if you aren't loyal to, your favorite game or whatever, but I'm just pointing out the fact that it does exist. So there's tons of options of games. So with the culture of instant gratification, especially, so you're gonna diverge to a game where you, especially like if you're a casual player to many extents, you're gonna diverge to a game where you are instantly gratified in a short period of time. So that can be a first person shooter. We'll just use Overwatch as an example. I like Halo as well, to where the matches only last so long and you get a win or a loss and you get a quick outcome. It can be a game like even like League of Legends, even though those games are even a little bit longer, or Heroes of the Storm, where you have a end result really quick. You can do just any number of games really, any genre, any number. The big battle royal games that are popular, such as Fortnite, um, those are big as well. So the more hardcore gamers are still playing WoW, but they're also playing other games as well that they're really into. So and they have more options as well. Hardcore gamers have more options as well. So they're diving into their games as well. And the last thing I will touch on is that there has been changes in WoW, but it doesn't necessarily correlate with why people are quitting necessarily. So it's a little bit of an irony. So this is kind of a general thing I'm going to talk about. Excuse me if I'm a little bit everywhere on it. But so a lot of people complain, well, the game's too easy. They throw too much free loot at you and everything like that. Um, but here's the thing: if you want to get the high end loot, you still have to do really hard stuff, and hard I'll put in quotations. You still have to do really hard stuff to get the really high end gear. There is a chance you can get Titan Forge, but nobody is fully Titan Forged from running looking for it. I'm sorry. Statistically, maybe one person is or something, but it's just not going to happen. You're not going to have fully Titan Forged gear in every slot, and whatever. And if you do it, you're the one in a million person, and frankly, you should be spending your time gambling or something else other than playing video games. Something where you can directly make money. But so uh, people complain about that a lot. Of course, they have more nuanced complaints of storyline and not liking, the lack of content and things like that. And those are all somewhat okay complaints to have. I don't agree with all of them, but at least you can make those arguments. But here's the thing: people are just more casual these days. So when World of Warcraft came out, it was for basically my generation or my age group, so like teenagers, and then it was also for like college kids as well. That was the age range it was really hitting with. Not that older people didn't play it too, because they did, but that was the age range that it was really really hitting with, was that age. And especially college. I should really point that out. And it was huge. So you had just it's kind of like League of Legends, like it was huge in colleges. That's where it really kicked off. It's the kind of same thing with World of Warcraft. And well, I was introduced to it by a person in college when I was just a teenager still, and that's so when you're that age, you have a lot more time to play the game, right? Everything seems cool. You just have all this time to play. You can run around and explore stuff. You can just do nonsensical things, and be like, oh well, who cares? So as we've gotten older, we're still the main player base. Younger people still were gravitating to WoW a little bit, but now they have all these other games to go to. So the player base is largely the same in a game this old as it was, for whatever 14 years ago or whatever. Uh, the player base is still the same people for the most part. Of course, there are young people who play too, but it's largely, especially at the some of the hardcore levels, it's largely the same people that were hardcore 10 years ago or whatever. So it's it's a mesh of that where as if you have the same people and as time goes on, more and more of those people are going to fall off, and it's just the way anything is in life. And it's just the way it works. It doesn't matter if the storyline's great or not. It doesn't matter, and that's the biggest thing I want to drive home at the end here. It doesn't matter what they do. They put in ways to get gear easier, but not the high end gear, and people complain. They still make the end stuff really hard, so the people complain about and give them better rewards, but the people still complain about that too. Like no matter what they do, people are going to complain about it. There's no way they can win. Nothing they do is going to bring back 9 million people or whatever. There's nothing they can do about that. It's not going to happen. They could take all of your suggestions in the world, and it's not going to happen. And that's something I would really like to drive home with people. What they need to do is make the best of the situation that they have. They still have a very large player base in general, and they need to grow it still if they can. But in doing so, realize that those people are not going to stick around for an entire expansion. And that's what the players need to realize as well. This is not an instant gratification game. This is not a quick reward game. Everything's time gated in some sense. Even doing a war front, you have to invest a half hour to get one piece of gear basically. So everything's in a little bit of a time investment, and that's just the way it is. That's the real reason why WoW sub numbers are down. All of those reasons, and of course, there are reasons in game. Someone might unsub because they literally just hate the game now. That's completely possible, but that's not that's not expressive over the larger player base. But yeah, that's the real reason. Please subscribe to my channel; it helps me out a lot. And everybody, have a good one.